In 1977, the Pepsi-Cola company purchased the franchise Pizza Hut. Now, folklore says the reason they purchased a restaurant chain is so they could exclusively sell Pepsi products, so Coca-Cola wouldn't be an option, making the unofficial slogan for the soft drink, "Is Pepsi okay?" Now, while it's a great story, the reality is likely closer that PepsiCo was simply looking at diversifying their portfolio, and restaurant franchises were making lots of money in the 70s. In 1978, PepsiCo bought Taco Bell. They added Kentucky Fried Chicken in 1986. But it wasn't just Pepsi making money. The franchisees were also doing very well in the business, especially those who got into the franchise early. One of those was Tom Riggs. Tom, along with four partners, pooled together $20,000 in a large loan to buy the first Pizza Hut in Orlando, Florida in 1969. This is prior to Disney World opening up. Eventually, Tom's company, Samoran Management Corporation, would own 65 Pizza Huts in the area, as well as a handful of other chain restaurants. Now, in addition to business and pizza, Tom also loved bluegrass music. In high school, while his friends were listening to rock and roll, Tom was in a hillbilly band called the Midnight Playboys. They played music both as a band. Tom also worked country format radio stations, and that helped Tom pay his way through college. Even spent a summer touring with John Lair at the Renfro Valley Barn Dance in Kentucky. One Friday, they were playing Ogden, Illinois. They drove back to Renfro Valley on Saturday to play the barn dance. Then John Lair told the band they were booked to play Memphis on Sunday. After all that driving, Tom realized he would never be a road musician. He decided to devote more time to his studies and business, which he did very well in. Later in life, Tom had the money and the time to once again get connected with music. Tom started to attend bluegrass festivals and concerts, but he just couldn't stop being a businessman. Tom would purchase hard-to-find bluegrass albums and sell them at festivals he would attend. People started telling him they wished they could order the products year-round, just not the random times they ran into him at some festival in the summer. So in 1986, he set up a storage building in his yard. He started selling albums through the mail with his son Court, and they called it the Music Shed. Tom also started playing those hard-to-find bluegrass albums on a syndicated radio program, which would eventually be called American Acoustic Country. It would run on 250 different radio stations eventually, and it would be the largest bluegrass show at the time. Tom even took over as a promoter and MC for a number of bluegrass festivals, including the Kissimmee, Florida Bluegrass Festival. Well, in 1991, Tom was chatting with bluegrass musician Bill Harrell. Bill was saying how difficult it was for his son Mitch to get a record made. Tom kind of wondered to himself, I wonder how much that would cost. He respected Bill and enjoyed Mitch's singing, so he decided to start a record company. And he used it to sign and finance Mitch Harrell's bluegrass album. Tom decided to call his record company Pinecastle Records. Now, about this time, PepsiCo has decided to start buying back some of the most profitable Pizza Hut franchises, and they had their eyes set on Tom Riggs' franchise, and Tom was more than willing to drop the pizza business for the right price to focus more on the bluegrass world. But Tom had a lot of leverage. He ended up getting what he said was a number north of $40 million, which was as specific as he would get. But he decided that he would get something better than money. In the contract, Tom also included a clause that Pizza Hut would have to sponsor a bluegrass band competition. And thus, in 1992, the Pizza Hut International Bluegrass Showdown was launched. Special Delivery, a Virginia-based band, won the first year. In the second year, New Vintage out of Raleigh, North Carolina won. Soon there were regional and semi-final competitions across North America, and they helped aspiring bands get the much-needed exposure and experience of playing on stage in front of a large audience, including Canada's own Spinney Brothers. They won the Eastern Canada Regional Competition in 1995. And Tom, always the businessman, was able to sign many of the bands he admired and the ones that the crowds liked onto the Pinecastle label. Now, in the late 90s, the fast food industry started to suffer a little bit. People were a little more concerned about what they were putting into their body, the health. PepsiCo decided to focus more on their soft drinks and snack food division they got out of the restaurant business. They sold off Pizza Hut, along with Taco Bell and Kentucky Fried Chicken that had rebranded to KFC in accordance with that health craze. They sold them to Tricon Global Restaurants, and the Pizza Hut International Bluegrass Showdown was no more. The Adair family band, that included a 16-year-old Tina Adair, was the last winner. Pinecastle Records would go on to record albums by the Osborne brothers, Jim and Jesse, Dale Ann Bradley, Special Consensus, more recently Town Mountain, and many, many more. In 2010, though, Tom's health started to decline. Tom's son, Court, managed the closure of the music shed, and Pinecastle Recording was sold to Lonnie Lassiter. Tom would pass away at the age of 78 on August 30th, 2014. But Tom played an incalculable role not only in helping the careers of many bluegrass musicians, but also playing that important role of bringing bluegrass to new generations of fans across the world. Thank you so much, Tom Riggs.